And in general, I think the AA actually has quite a nice win rate right now. So it is making somewhat of a comeback in this current meta.
Yeah, it suits the lineup of NoPing quite well. As you mentioned, Monkey's not going to have a good time. If he wants to play with his lifesteal from Jingu, Ancient Apparitions can prevent that. And it's already a bit of a hard Monkey King game. Mars can break your trees down. Kunkka can X mark you. So you're not going to be jumping in and out of these fights as easily as you would otherwise, which makes it already quite nice for NoPing here. We'll see how they do build up though, as as you mentioned, the Monkey King still has a good time against Mars. It's one of those matchups that kind of just works itself out because of Jingu. And it does take some time till the AA hits 6. So before that point, then you've got some good control there. But the Monkey King should still be able to build up to what he wants to do. We will see though, like Mars Clockwork as a lane, if it is going to be our pause 4 clock and pause 5 AA. Mars Clock is pretty potent. You walk up, you get the cogs off. You can just spear into the cogs. Although how much you want to commit against a Monkey King is a different question, as he can't just Jingu up once you have level 2, level 3. That proposition does get a bit dicey, so we'll see what the prioritization there for NoPing is. Egoboys do go for the Enigma. So they've got some team fight on hand now. That should be our pause 5 Kotl in this case, pause 4 Enigma, or maybe just pause 4 Keeper of Light, pause 5 Saved, and the Enigma for offlane. Either way, the denies the Enigma brings out, the push it does enable, is pretty darn potent. You do have some decent wave clear here from NoPing. Mars with God's Rebuke and Kunkka with a Tidebringer can take care of those Eidolons quite well, but it's still really hard to lane against the Enigma just because you're not getting as much EXP as you would without the Enigma there.
Okay. Couple more banouts to come. The troll, obviously removed by Egoboys. Not wanting to go into that troll when you are playing Monkey King, especially when the AA is on the other side. Definitely very dangerous stuff. NoPing, I believe they're still just looking for a mid to ban out. They may assume it's going to be a mid Monkey King and maybe something else in the safe lane. But no, they are going to go for the lifestealer ban, so just making sure. We'll see. We do seem to see a lot of mid Monkey King these days as well.
Yeah, I think it's more likely for Alone to just play the Tiny again. I think against the Kunkka, that's not too bad. Monkey can also dominate, but then you're running Tiny 4, Kotl 5, which is okay. I just worry about it being maybe a bit greedy with the Enigma on hand as well. That's a lot of EXP that the Kotl will want to soak up, that the Enigma will also want to soak up fast. You're much better off just sort of getting a harder 5, perhaps, and playing with the Enigma core, but it is flexible there for Egoboys, depending on what they want to do. NoPing does have last pick overall as well, so Egoboys will have to show their hand first, and that could give NoPing some time to think about their own last pick going into it.
Well, final ban, NoPing. Plenty of time to think about this final ban out. You know what saddens me every time I think of, or every time I see the Enigma pick, John? So I remember back when Enigma, well, when Dota 2 first came out, you know, Enigma was all about just black holes, right? That was what the hero was about. You didn't care about denying in the lane. It wasn't about Eidolons. You could jungle forever as Enigma. Nobody cared. And it was all about landing that massive 4 or 5 man black hole. And now it feels like we've just completely moved away from that. It's just like, who cares about black hole? It's all about just denying creeps in the laning phase, and maybe you can push some towers very nicely. I miss those old days. Things were simpler, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. You know, you'd rush to BKB Blink. That's what you go for. Sometimes you still went mech. But those were the more bombastic times of Dota. Simpler times. I guess we weren't, the game wasn't as optimized in terms of the best timings.
I wouldn't go as far as saying that, John.
It's definitely not hardware optimized.
My CPU would disagree with your statement, I'll tell you that, sir.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hog, but in terms of, optimizing timings in team fights, optimizing your power spikes, definitely was a different time. Egoboys, though, close out with the Bloodseeker, so it looks like we will see a support Enigma in this case, Bloodseeker off, Kotl 5, perhaps. You have some flexibility with Tiny and Monkey King, but more than likely now safe lane Monkey King and the mid Tiny once again for Alone. So we'll see just how much Rises in this case can get done with his Monkey King. He is more than likely laning against the Mars and the Clockwork. Of course, that could just be Mars and Ancient Apparition as well. If NoPing want to flex that around, it's still possible, past 5 o'clock, but they are looking for their own safe laner now, and most of the meta picks are gone. You could maybe go for a Lycan, but Lycan against Bloodseeker can be a bit strange. You get ruptured and you suddenly don't want to run around in your wolf form, so that could be a bit awkward there if you do want to go for it. There is, well, there's no troll. There isn't a jug as well. They could try Slark perhaps if they want to. We've seen that a couple of times be fairly effective as well.
Whoa.
And they go with Luna instead. So
They did
just
this
building
before.
on the team fight.
It was NoPing that picked Luna Pos 1 the other day, was it not? And I'm
Yep.
pretty sure they won with that Luna. Like, it was kind of just impossible to beat it at some stage. See if they can make it work again. I mean, it was into a Monkey King last time around as well. I'm pretty sure on that. Makes enough sense. Obviously, the high armor of the Monkey King not going to quite matter as much when you have the Eclipse of the Luna. Sure, later on you get a BKB, but you can always just kite till the BKB does run out, and then you can pop your Eclipse. Overall, I think I'm kind of leaning towards the NoPing draft. I do like it. I think it's easy to execute, much less reliant on cooldowns, and I mean, Egoboys could do it. I don't know about this, though. The draft from NoPing just looks better to me.
And they've got a lot of wombo combo on NoPing's side. Where for Egoboys, it's Black Hole plus maybe a Will-O-Wisp plus maybe the Wukongs and Blood Right on top, which is
Right.
still potent, but it's not as much control. Most of their control comes from this Tiny to get the Avalanche Toss. So it's all down to Dismar actually getting that good start, and it's actually Alone the Monkey King. So they do actually swap it out. Looks like we're not going to see the Alone Tiny, which I think is a bit of a shame, considering how well his Tiny performed last time, but I guess they felt the need to flex it away anyway. So we'll just see how much Alone can get this time around. Should be a fun game, number one. A lot of back and forth you can expect from these teams. And I guess the best we can hope for is that the ping advantage or disadvantage doesn't affect either side all too much.
Certainly. Alone seems pretty confident going into this. Gotta say, one thing I really enjoy about the South American teams is they do really spam those voice lines. Makes me very, very happy seeing all the tips flying out. I've noticed other regions have really slowed down on the tipping and the voice line spam, and it's you pay for it. You may as well get your value out of it, and I enjoy a bit of psychological warfare when we're in the game of Dota 2.
Yeah, it's always entertaining. Do miss me, especially Southeast Asia. We love our voice lines.
Yeah.
Don't see it as much, but good to see that love here in the South American teams.
Speaking
See how
of
it
them,
unfolds.
where are the packs for the teams, by the way?
30 seconds and
Well,
counting.
Where are
Mike?
the support packs? What's happening?
I don't know. I don't know, Mike. The majors are upon us, so only the teams that are going there are probably getting the support packs. Maybe we just see it in Season 2. Who knows? I don't know. Artifact's dead, Mike. I have no idea what's planned.
Don't bring up Artifact, John. That's very sad news, sir.
It is.
I mean, you're probably
least I get to
happy
play
because
it.
you were right. You were telling me a long time ago this is going to be a terrible idea, but
The
I mean,
moment you've all
you make it
been waiting for.
pay to play, but the majority of the players, say in South America and Southeast Asia, wouldn't pay $20 for it. It's like that's why Dota's big, because it's free, and because Warcraft 3 is really easy to access in Netcafe. So I don't know. Still, what I do know is we've got the match unfolding here. A bit of a tri-lane start up top for the side of NoPing. Panda Boo sticking around along with Matthew. Probably going to look for that first blood opportunity. Got a good ward forward as well to spot this movement out. So they might make an early play on Rises, but they're actually TPing more heroes up top as
Tri-lane
well.
versus Tri-lane situation. Dismar, this could be a really nice toss back if he has it up, and he does, but he's looking for the... Oh.
Okay.
Is that
All
Dismar
right.
disconnecting? Because there's no toss. I thought he would have gone for the toss onto Matthew. Well, it's NoPing that's actually complaining about lag, so... Dismar maybe trying to get to Pandaboo for the toss back? Because if he does get the toss, it should almost guaranteed be a kill. Especially if it's the AA.
Yeah, it should be straightforward enough if they get that toss off. They really need this first blood as well. Dismar, TPing up top, does not have regen on hand. He started with Boots of Speed, and I believe he just spread his tangos out and maybe bought the wards, or maybe bought a value sentry down the line, which they did plant to block So this is an empty Tiny. They need the first blood to get rolling here, and if it does fall apart, then they're gonna have to sustain a tri-lane without really uh, too much recourse. They don't have the options to TP out these supports. Kara had to TP in as well, so they're kind of stuck with a situation here, and they just have to try to get as much as possible from the start.
Disma, we'll see if he gets a toss back. Pandaboo, he stuck around for that range creep deny. I'm not sure if it's worth it. Cogs is going to save the day for now, but no, Pandaboo's stuck. Yeah, it's not worth. I mean, you deny the XP with the range creep, but then you give your life away instead. So the XP is going to be granted anyway, plus the first blood gold to Kara. And on a pos 5 Keeper of the Light, you are really going to enjoy that first blood gold, as now HFN's going to be in trouble. They don't get the blood right, but Disma has another toss back. He needs to get it off ASAP though, and he will get it into Kara now. They should not have enough damage this time around, as the Cogs are going to be there. Disma's going to try and run, and he will make it out. But this top lane looks like it's going to be an absolute bloodbath. Excuse the pun.
Yeah, it is. They're just going to be riding in there. The Bloodseeker's going to be very happy, of course, having all this blood on hand, but doesn't have the mana to spam out the blood right and doesn't have level 2 for Thirst yet, so they're going to be able to sustain. Now Kara.
Matthew just really abusing these Cogs, just trying to be very annoying, getting Kara out of position for a second. Problem is the creep wave was a bit too big for them to actually capitalize, and now Matthew going to take a bit of harassment. Nothing too big. We'll look at the other lanes while we have a chance, because this is the one we'll be watching the most. But mid lane, Dark Mago up against Alone. Hard to know who it favors, but you should assume that it is the Monkey King that is going to have the advantage here. And he does now get the Jingu Mastery as I say that. But of course the Tidebringer from Dark Mago also going to be quite hard to deal with. As soon as that Jingu is over, the Kunkka should be okay, but well, Alone I suppose can keep stacking it up.
Yeah, it's a tricky one for the Kunkka, although
Bot lane.
bot, the solo kill.
Yeah, of all things, the Mars kills off the Enigma solo. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it would just be a direct trading lane, but props to the Mars. And of course, we're right back up to the top lane, John, because there has been a lot of trading going on here. Right now, Matthew's trying to interrupt the pull that was made by Disma and goes for a nice cheeky Cogs. With the cold feet, Disma will get frozen and should just die as Matthew got the rocket flare. And John, when's the last time you saw a Clockwork at level 2 not have battery assault?
Not in a very long time. It's working out for Matthew. He gets a nice courier snipe before the boots are picked up for Rises as well. So they're going to lack some tangos in the Bloodseeker. He's going to have to rely fully on Turris for some regen. And this lane is just such a bloodbath lane. They just can't relieve the pressure. They have to TP the Tiny up top, so they're going to hold the tri-lanes up. At the least, that bot lane, which we haven't talked about, but the Enigma Mars is holding steady for both sides. You are finding a little bit more form there, although.
Yeah, Pandaboo, big trouble. Tries to go back after Disma, but he's going to be fine to walk out. Another kill to A-Team, and, you know, I said NoPing's draft looked a bit better, but I gotta tell you, John, if Egoboys keep this tri-lane up and they keep getting kills like this, Rises is gonna be huge on this Bloodseeker.
Yeah, he is gonna hit an early spike, and that's very important for Egoboys. If the Bloodseeker starts to stagnate, as we have seen before, it can really fall flat, especially against something like Luna. Luna's such a great hard carry skills into the late game, has multiple avenues of itemization, so you do want to start here.
Alone. Chase down Dark Mago. Meanwhile, top lane, Rises, going to be in a spot of danger, but he's going to be able to just walk back to his tier 1. So they split up the tri-lane for a bit, as we saw Kara had to try to come into the mid lane to help secure power runes, but that doesn't work out. Instead, back up towards the top lane he goes. And Rises is going to be targeted. Avalanche, Bloodrite, all being thrown out. Matthew going to take it all, but the cold feet is going to pan out this time. Rises does go down. Disma going to be cautious as HFN hits the Lucent Beam. That's going to be a double kill. Of course, Pandaboo will get the tip from his carry.
Yeah, it's just so much early damage that can come out from a Luna. You can't underestimate the damage on Lucent Beam. Really easy setup to get that cold feet off as well. And it's just hard to contest. At the least, that's a bit of a reset for Rises. Gods come in with his boots this time around, so he is speedier as well. But I'd say overall, if you're NoPing, you're happy with how the situation's going. Your Lena's finding equal farm with the Bloodseeker, although...
HFN, bit of damage out with the Illuminate. They weren't really just focusing on one. In fact, Dismar, those tower hits are really starting to hurt that Tiny. Rise is still going to go for the dive underneath the tier 1, but Matthew is around, and now the cold feed out again. So Rise is forced to back, Rocket Flare out. They are standing their ground now, NoPing. The levels do slowly come up, and I've got to tell you, this cold feet from Pandaboo is really starting to cause some problems.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard to trade. Like, you want to sit still, get the hits off because you're melee on the Tiny, but you're constantly targeted by the feet. Even the Bloodseeker, right? Like, he runs fast now because there are some low heroes around the map, but the moment everyone's healthy, you get cold feet up, you get cogsed up, you're stuck in a very awkward spot, and NoPing are just abusing the hell out of this tri-lane, just constantly keeping the aggression up. They know that HFN doesn't need a good laning start as long as he finds these kills, because he will flash farm faster than the Bloodseeker. It's just in the nature of the Luna. So you don't mind at all trading this kind of farm with Rises, because if need be, HFN can just dip into the jungle.
Look how Clockwork is going to TP down towards the bot lane now. Matthew trying to go for a bit of a surprise attack onto Tano. There's your arena being dropped. Oscar is dying to the Eidolons though. Matthew's going to come in, but he's still... Well, he has level 1 battery assault. It's not really going to do much damage though, and Tano is going to be fine to walk out of there. Meanwhile, the Radiant Triangle, they are going to go for a dive here on the side of Egoboys into Pandaboo. And Pandaboo trying to get the deny off and does get it. Very, very nice. Wasting a lot of time from Egoboys. They will get nothing for it.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good deny coming out from Pandaboo. A bit on edge, as it looked like he didn't have creep aggro, but he got it right at the last second. So they do salvage that situation. Egoboys, not doing too bad. You know, they're lagging behind by less than 1k. They're finding a lot of farm on Alone. So our Monkey King is off to a spectacular start and should be active now. Has level 7 up, does a lot of damage. We have seen Alone willing enough to leave that mid lane. There's a smoke up top, though.
Riz. Rises. Needs to be slightly cautious. Dark Mage going to connect the turn, and now Dark Mago comes in. Rises. X back into the boat, but Alone a nice boundless strike into the Primal Spring. That'll allow Rises to back off for a little bit, as Alone is going to take all the aggression away. He does have more teammates coming in to try and help out. You see Dismar cutting them off now with an avalanche, and a toss will mean the Kunkka does die. The Egoboys getting the better trade for now, but now they've got the Monkey King in the cogs, and that'll mean they get another kill. This time HFN will be the one to pick it up. A fairly even trade in that top lane, but I dare say you don't want to give too many kills away to this Luna. You don't want to help him escalate in farm this early.
Yeah, and HFN is already getting a lot. 3-0 on Luna so far. Has the jungle to dip into now as well. Can start building up. Has the Morbid Mask for lifesteal. So this is where our Luna sits back, farms up. And this is where Egoboys needs to maybe get some forward wards out and get that information down to contest the Luna. You let this free farm, it is going to outscale the Bloodseeker just by pure farming pace. You don't have the same clear as the Bloodseeker does. And this should be good news overall for NoPing. They don't maintain a huge lead though, as you are still getting more off the map. Egoboys have held that bot lane really well, although you are finding a lot of farm on Oscar and Arena goes.
Kano caught in the arena with the spear, and Matthew is there as backup. He'll even take the kill on the Clockwork. Great pick up there, but you see Oscar once again almost dying to the Eidolons. Matthew just feeling like he's forced to cogs them just to make sure they can't chase. But in the Radiant jungle, Dark Mago now going to be chased down by Alone and Dismar. And within the Wukong's command, they will be able to secure the kill. Just prior to the 10-minute bounty rune spawning up as well. Very nice pick up there for Egoboys.
Yeah, it's an important kill for Alone to find. Again, he wants to escalate in this Monkey King fast to buy some space out. Not enough of a timely response here from NoPing, so a bit of a trade. Still 6-5. They invade the triangle, which is important. And they might be able to find HFN if they want to commit.
Well, they get the boundless strike on HFN, but that's about it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So 2 for 2 on the bounties. Still a very even game, just less than 1k net worth lead here for NoPing. I think this does obviously favor NoPing with the net worth not really being out of control yet. Black hole bot lane going to be committed straight onto that Kunkka, and this is one of the really poor things happening right now for NoPing is Dark Mago is not having a great game, and now Matthew going to be caught out of position as well, and will go down. You even see Oscar, he ran in with a haste rune, but there's just nothing he can do up against 4 heroes.
Radiant should look to their bottom
No,
tower.
it's a tricky fight to take. Really good use of that black hole here from Tano getting that kill. They can transition to a push. They've got the siege creep. They can get more Eidolons up soon. And you are going to force a response out here from NoPing. Now, they do have their team fight back up. Kunkka is back up. Dark Mago still has boat. So if they want to, they can actually throw some bodies out here.
Spear is going to land into the Ice Blast, and that'll be Dismar going down very quickly, but the T1 tower is also going to go down just as quick. Arena going to be dropped. They've even got the Monkey King with the tree cut of the arena. Tano's going to die. Alone's going to keep fighting, but the spear away into a tree is going to land. And Alone now needs to try and make a run for it, but Dark Mago is going to be there. He doesn't connect the torrent, but Alone is stuck within the trees, and he cannot get on top of him. The Kunkka will finally get some sweet, sweet revenge as they go for even more now. Matthew, he has the hook shot. Rises is going to be able to juke them out, and Matthew won't go for the blind hook shot. He'll just leave the Bloodseeker be.
Yeah, that's still a really good trade coming out for NoPing. Sure, they drop that bot tier 1, but they find all the kills they want, and they're giving space out to HFN, so he can focus on farm. They smoke up as well, as they do have the Ice Blast and hook still ready.
Yep. Anyone can die right now. Level 2 Battery Assault, level 3 Rocket Flare with an Ice Blast, and oh, they found Rises. Easy. Very, very easy there for Matthew and Pandaboo. Dismar and Kara going to rotate in to try and get a bit of revenge, but even if they get Matthew, it won't matter. He's going to be more than happy with this trade, and he might get away. He's got cogs up. Yeah, he'll just block the staircase. Very nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of space out from Matthew, and they are keeping that Bloodseeker in good check. Rises is #1 in net worth for his team, but he's still lagging behind Dark Mago and way behind HFN. Again, the farming pattern of our Luna with a Mask of Madness up is just superior to the Bloodseeker, so they're not really getting control of this jungle. There are huge stacks being built up here as well. They did drop a sentry to block the Ancient Camp. That should be spotted out at some point here by Pandaboo if he notices, but overall, that's the extent of their contention. They dropped into the triangle once. HFN is still having a good time, and you have to worry about the Luna getting a bit too big here. Really pulling ahead in farm, and Egoboys, again, they just can't work that same farm out. Maybe Alone can, but he's not going for Battle Fury. He's obviously going for a more fight-oriented build, so a fight they must find very soon. They're going to have Black Hole in about 15, and once you do have Black Hole Wukongs plus maybe a Rupture on top, can net you some kills. They just need to find the right heroes to jump.
They do. And with all this time that's going by, John, HFN is still freely farming up with the MOM and Dragonlance up. It's not going to be long till he has another core item. It feels like they've really got to start trying to apply some more pressure here, Egoboys.
Osper. He dropped the arena, but there's a blink up already on Tano, so missed opportunity there.
Oscar, he doesn't seem to care though. Makes it a bit spicier as Kara is going to get a recall off, and I believe that will be time to smoke. Recall didn't actually bring anyone in, surprisingly. Won't matter though. They just want to try and get that blink black hole initiation going.
Should look to their top tower.
Recall on Dismar is now there. Some nice positioning though from NoPing. They seem to be very well aware that while the arena's down, they would go for a smoke. Especially with the blink up, but Tano still going to find the Mars. He's unwilling to black hole, and he will go for the Kunkka instead. The X is there, but it's not going to be fast enough. Still the hook shot in from Matthew onto Kara, and Tano is probably going to die to the Ice Blast. Kara's gone as well, and they're just going to chase them down. Dark Mago, X up. He'd love to get Rises, and he will get him. Rupture's out, but is it going to matter? Probably not. As Dismar even spotted with the rocket flare now, and they're just going to hunt the rest down. No arena necessary, John.
For Dire's middle tower.
Yeah, it's tricky for Egoboys. It all boils down to that tri-lane top. Like, they might have felt like they shut down a Luna. It wasn't really the case, because HFN was finding the kills, and he still had a jungle to go back to. So the initial farm, as long as Rises wasn't finding more than HFN was, it was always going to be better for the Luna when they found the kills, and they did find them. They're playing around these cooldowns well. With no black hole, Tano is not going to be showing up now. It's just going to focus in on the farm for the BKB. Of course, even with the BKB, it's risky, because the hook shot is there to cancel through that spell immunity. So you will have to watch your positioning there. Although, speaking of that positioning, HFN is pretty far out, but they're not going to be able to make a move.
Yeah, he's got a scan there. He knows Dismar's around. It's not going to lead to anything anyway, because you haven't got the blink up on the Tiny yet, and the timing's getting very late now. Even for a pos full Tiny, you'd really hope for it earlier than that. That hook shot is going to be there onto Rises, into the Ice Blast and the Cold Feet, and Rises, he can't survive the damage output. Alone, he'll settle for a clockwork kill. Oscar, though, is not going to have him. Spear? Never mind, Dismar's still going to go, but that spear should have connected on that arena. I'm very sure.
I have no clue. You know how it is sometimes. The angles are a bit odd in some spots, so I'm going to be really counting your lucky stars there.
I don't know if it's an angle problem, John. It's literally a circle. It's alone. Going to be chased down a bit. Oscar gets the Yules off. He can't really Primal Spring or Tree Dance right now. God's Rebuke going to connect, and Oscar is literally just going to TP away. That's a great TP as well. There was a lot of rotations in from Egoboys, but they're not going to be able to get anything out of it.
And this hurts Egoboys a ton. 16 to 8, 10k lead up for NoPing. All of this is down to the fact that every time they force movement out, HFN is in the opposite side of the map, clearing out the creep wave top, clearing out that top jungle. They've got this forward ward to watch the upper part of that top jungle as well to keep HFN safe. And he's just building up massively now. He's got his BKB all done. This is a huge boon for the Luna, and they might just go for a Roche play.
Why the hell not? HFN would happily take a Roshan fight right now with Egoboys with this 10-second BKB charge. Got the Eclipse at level 1. Doesn't even bother going to the level 2 mark because, you know, he's not fighting. The faster he can farm, the better for his team, and he is farming very, very fast. Almost 5k ahead, the Monkey King. Just about 4.5.
It's the flash farm. You know, the Luna is one of those years that you leave in the jungle for 5 minutes, just pulls ahead by a huge amount. And Egoboys were just never able to control that jungle. So they lose the Aegis. I mean, they get the Aegis on the side of NoPing. Egoboys just unaware, no wards around the area besides behind the pit. Not spotting that movement out.
HFN straight up to that tier 2 top tower. Probably going to be able to make short work of it after the glyph. Love the fact that he's got that lifesteal neutral item as well, so he's had inbuilt lifesteal since the 10-minute mark. TP in though, bot lane, they want to defend the tier 2 tower. Tano does have Black Hole, but can't blink right now because of that Ice Blast passive. Can now, but looks like Oscar might actually find... No, he doesn't. They're so close you could smell him, but he's just going to walk away. Tano might be able to get this this creep wave skipped if he really gets the timing right, but he hasn't. Meanwhile, Yules is going to come out into the Eclipse. Was that a recall from Kara?
Yes. Yes, it was. I don't know. It's like that is a strange one. They go in, they see the cores there. They lose their 2 supports. I mean, they don't lose their cores on Egoboys end, so that's a bit of a plus, but NoPing are just going to take the freebies, go for this bot objective, and oh, arena drop could have been on point. So close, Oscar.
They found Tano anyway. Tano trying to creep skip the wave with Eidolons, but he's going to get picked off. The supports of NoPing were very well aware that the Enigma was probably still around that area, as now Rise is going to get X'd up.
X.
Bow in. Should land. Bloodright Gonna deny some area, but Torrent is also gonna land into a very nice spear by Oscar. This is turning into a real big stomp now. The pings are starting to fly out from every single player. Rise has copied the ping tips this time as Matthew, nice hook shot into a two-man cogs. Panda Boot, no Ice Blast yet. Alone, however, is still just gonna drop. HFN is just way too far ahead on this Luna.
Yeah, it's uncontrollable at this point. You don't have any of the natural Luna counters as well that we always tended to see before, something like the Shadow Demon to get some Luna illusions in your end. None of that here. So it's a difficult game for Egoboys. They still are waiting for this BKB on Tano. They're relying on the black hole, which again is just not the strength of the hero anymore. It's such a long cooldown. It's very hard to get in the right spot with all the stuns on hand. So Tano is going to have to find an angle in this high ground defense if he doesn't find that BKB fast.
SNY now up on the Luna. And just a casual Reaver queued up for HFN. Hasn't decided what he wants yet. Black Hole mid lane. They catch out Oscar. So there's your Black Hole gone, but at least they get something for it. Meanwhile, Dark Mago just going to go into Kara by himself and connects the boat. That'll be your keeper gone. Tano also going to die to Matthew. It's a real disaster here in this game one for Egoboys as they get the X again onto Rises, but they can't really follow up on it. Almost getting that high ground Torrent, but it won't matter. They're just going to go straight high ground now. And it's starting to look like NoPing has almost got this one in the bag. Not guaranteed yet, but it's a very tough ask of Egoboys to come back from this game.
It's a difficult one. No black hole means there's not much threat here from the side of Egoboys. They do have a Desolator up on Alone, so he does do more damage. The issue is it doesn't feel like it's enough. And I was taking a look at NoPing. They're really prioritizing HFN here. They gave him the Tome so he could hit 18 into the high ground. So he's got max level Eclipse ready to go in case a fight does break out.
Yeah, I mean, I like
good
that.
Scan as well.
Max Eclipse is going to be impossible to fight into. You still haven't got a BKB on Alone either. And HFN, quick BKB into Disma. Meanwhile, Oscar with the Yules up on the Monkey and gets a spear into the arena. No buybacks. That's at least one Rax gone. He went for the Deso on the MK, feeling like they need damage, but without the BKB, he can't fight it. Now Tano.
Oh no.
Great X into a hook shot, and that's your Enigma gone as well. He has buyback, but Black Hole's still on cooldown for another 70 seconds or so. And like I said, John, it's one Rax guaranteed. Probably more like two.
Yeah, they can't stop it. Like, just not enough, and they're trying to be aggressive as well. But the objectives should just melt. Rupture just does nothing, although the toss back.
A nice toss back, Dark Mago. He's going to BKB up, and look at the damage out on Disma. Matthew, great cogs to break some distance between Rises and Dark Mago, and they're just going to keep going for the Rax. Nice and easy.
This is just...
Ice Blast is going to be enough. Panda Boot. This is going to be one of the better AA performances I've seen in a very long time from Panda Boo. I've got to tell you, John. Very impressive stuff. And
yeah,
NoPing.
He's got all the setup. And, I mean, I have to point it out as well. Dark Mago, when he was jumped, he popped his BKB. He had a regen. The only thing that hit him was Blood Right. And with BKB, that meant the regen just kept going. Like, they have so much on hand here to play with. And there's just no stopping this. This is a Luna without Manta for push. And that's the tendency we used to see. And now...
Oh, Alone. I'm not sure about that. The T2 tower was already dead. There's just no point in trying to do that. I guess desperate times call for desperate measures, but that was almost a guaranteed death there for the MK. Maybe a bit of a misclick. Tier 3 tower, under siege. HFN, a man of business, not wasting any time. How do you stop this? Black Hole to Wukong's maybe?
You just don't have the BKB. It's just very difficult to get the ideal Black Hole. And I guess that's their last-ditch effort. They're going to lose the Rax, but this is enough time for the respawn to come out. There's still one Rax standing here.
Uh-oh.
And NoPing's going to have to work away there.
Tano. danger. Matthew gonna hold him down for a bit, but Matthew is all alone at the moment. The rest of his team just sticking around that high ground, not interested in helping the Clockwork. But no, as I say that, Mago's gonna be here. Cogs push back into the X-Back. Rupture is there from Rises, but Matthew, he might die. He will. Rises gets something for his trouble, but Dark Mago's gonna chase him down. And towards the north, they are melting. HFN helping out and killing Alone and Dismar.
Scanning for enemies. Dire's bottom tower is
That's going to be
under attack.
the last set of racks. There's no buyback in the Enigma, no buyback in the Monkey. They will lose one more as well.
Arena down, Oscar. Setting up another there with the Kunkka. They still have not called GG. I appreciate their spirit, but this is well and truly over. There's no way to come back from this. Dota Plus, 99%.
Yeah, it's pretty clear cut. And HFN again pulling that Luna out, just having a spectacular run. Has the Satanic on, queuing up the Butterfly next, I think. And there's just nothing to stop him. Now with the Satanic, he's got a lot of lifesteal to play with. Just going to be hard to burst down in the middle of a fight. And I mean, the tier 4s don't hold. It's a Luna. Objectives just do not last long at all.
Pandaboo literally drops all his items. Ring of Basilius, Glimmer Cape, Force Staff. He wants someone to come in. Nobody takes the bait. Ancient now exposed and under siege. Still no GG call coming out. What's the play? They're just sitting in their fountain.
Nah, I think that's it.
Right. Alone just breaking his items. Classic pub game here. Toss back into HFN. And there's your GG call now being made. Maybe just a bit of a chat with the team before they called it.
Yeah, definitely needed here for Egoboys. Very dominant victory for NoPing in game number 1. Pulling out that Luna once more for HFN. And he is the guy to look at for the Luna right now. No one else picking that hero but him, making it work well. They had this beautiful setup as well. Dark Mago on that Kunkka holding out on his own in the mid. And the tri-lane versus tri-lane just didn't work out the way Egoboys wanted to. They were getting a bit more down bot, you could argue, but the Mars was drawing with the Enigma. And again, it comes down to the fact that if you run a tri-lane against Luna, and Luna gets 3 kills, it doesn't matter that she doesn't find laning creeps. She always has the jungle, and she will always clear it faster than almost every hero. Almost every hero.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely one of the faster ones, and I do agree, John. HFN is making Luna look very, very strong right now. Of course, with that, we do have a Game 2 coming up between these two, and that does mean a server switch. We'll see how much that does affect NoPing and Egoboys in that game number 2. With that, it is MLP, Dota, and JohnXFire, and we'll be back in roughly 10 minutes for that second game.